Hi, and thanks for logging on to the Daily DVAR HaLacha. Here's a brand new halacha for you, and it's for Thursday, 29th day of October, the 11th day of Cheshvan. Today we're going to start talking to you, possibly for a couple of days, about the laws of Tsar Balei Chaim, and that means not causing any pain to living beings. Okay, most of you probably have heard of that. It's basically the law that says you're not allowed to hurt animals, you're not allowed to cause pain to animals. What we're going to discuss today is whether this command really comes from the Torah. Is it a biblical command, or is it something that the rabbis have decreed? So we're going to go to some famous sources on the matter. We're going to start here. The Ramah in the Shulchan Aruch says here, Tsar Balei Chaim Dahave Deoraisa. Tsar Balei Chaim is a Torah prohibition. That's what he says. Now, where would the Torah prohibition come from? Where does it say in our Torah that you shall not cause any pain to an animal? Some say that the source is where God tells us that if an animal is stumbling under its load, you have to help your friend with the animal who's stumbling under the load, and it would be because it's causing pain to the animal. That is a famous source that a lot of the rabbis quote. But here's another one. God tells us, Lo sachsom shor bedisho. God tells us in our Torah right here that you should not muzzle an ox while it's threshing. That's painful to the animal. It sees all that delicious food, and it can't eat it because you've muzzled its mouth. That causes it pain. So that's why some others say that it is for sure a biblical command. Here's another one. You might recognize this from Ashrei. Tov Hashem lakol. Hashem is good to all. V'rachamav al kol ma'asav, and his mercy is on everything that he created. That, some say, is the source also for a biblical command to not cause pain to animals. Now, there are others who say that it's possibly only a rabbinic command, because these sentences don't come right quite out and say that. So some people say that it's a rabbinic command. Now, you might be sitting there wondering, who cares? What's the difference to us whether it's a biblical command or a rabbinic command? And here's where it gets interesting. There is a difference. If it's a biblical command, then it will override some other things that are of lesser importance. Here's an example, and it's in the Shulchan Aruch. This seems to indicate also that the Shulchan Aruch must consider it a biblical command, because he says this, Mutar lomar la'akum, you're allowed to say to a non-Jew, Lachlov behemto b'Shabbos, you're allowed to tell a non-Jew to milk your cow on Shabbos, mishum tsar balei chaim, because of the pain to the animal, shehechalav mitzara, and that's because the milk, if you were not to milk that cow for 25 hours throughout Shabbos, it would cause pain to the animal. So here's where you see today's rule quite strongly. Causing pain to an animal seems to be, according to this Shulchan Aruch quote, biblical. The idea of not telling a non-Jew to do work for you on Shabbos is a rabbinic command. So the biblical command, which tells you to not cause pain to animals, versus the rabbinical command, which says not to tell a non-Jew to do work for you on Shabbos, the biblical command overrides. So here's where it becomes quite important to note that you hold that it's biblical, because then it will override when it clashes with rabbinic commandments. And that is how the Shulchan Aruch rules here, and says that's why it's okay to tell a non-Jew to milk your animal on Shabbos, because that'll only be a rabbinical violation, whereas if you let your animal suffer, that'll be a biblical command. We probably will follow up over the next few days with a couple of more laws, I think, on Tsar Balei Chaim, on details about not causing pain to animals. Thanks for logging on. Log on again tomorrow for more. Bye-bye.